Nous venons d'écouter une chanson de Fayrouz intitulée Sanarji'u yawman ila hayyina et nous recevons au studio 1 Céline Moyroud, représentante résidente du PNUD en Tunisie, le programme des Nations Unies pour le développement, et nous recevons également Haddad, ambassadeur de bonne volonté du système des Nations Unies pour le monde arabe, donc UNDP arabe. Haddad, bonjour, bienvenue.
Bonjour.
Bonjour Cécile Moyroud.
Bonjour.
Une question personnelle avant de commencer notre entretien. Vous vous appelez Haddad et Fayrouz s'appelle également Haddad.
Yes, this is a great honor for me to be in Tunisia, to feel the warmth of the Tunisian people who, like being Lebanese, we know how much there is like this close relationship between our two peoples together, like historical relationship. And yes, I'm from Antilles, also from Lebanon. It is the land where the Rahbanis are from, and like this is a great honor for us and for me to be listening in Tunisia the beautiful voice of Fayrouz, that if you think of it connects all of us, like especially your selection of this song is like, you know, very, very smart.
C'est une manière de rendre hommage à Fayrouz et une manière de souligner, comme vient de le faire Haddad, la proximité que crée cette diva de la chanson arabe. Nous allons revenir à Haddad dans un instant. Il va parler en langue anglaise. Il est ambassadeur de bonne volonté des Nations Unies pour le monde arabe. Avant cela, mettez-nous, si vous voulez bien, Céline Moyroud, vous êtes représentante résidente du PNUD en Tunisie. Mettez-nous dans le contexte global de cette visite en introduisant également ce programme des Nations Unies.
Merci encore de nous accueillir aujourd'hui en la compagnie de Michael. Donc, nous sommes là pour un petit peu parler du programme des Nations Unies pour le développement, comme on connaît de façon plus familièrement le PNUD. Le PNUD est en Tunisie depuis des années, on a parlé ensemble. Et vraiment, notre rôle principal, c'est d'appuyer la Tunisie pour réaliser les objectifs de développement durable. Et vous savez, les objectifs de développement durable, ça touche à tous les éléments du développement, que ce soit le climat, la santé, l'accès à l'eau, les questions de gouvernance et autres, l'énergie et autres choses. Donc, on travaille sur beaucoup de questions, mais y compris sur les questions liées au changement climatique et aussi à la question de l'inclusion. Donc c'est pour ça qu'on a demandé à Michael Haddad, moi j'ai rencontré Michael au Liban, j'étais postée au Liban avant de venir en Tunisie, de venir passer une semaine avec nous, une semaine en Tunisie, pas pour parler au PNUD, mais pour parler aux Tunisiens et aux Tunisiennes, pour essayer de mieux comprendre à la fois les défis auxquels la Tunisie fait face, notamment en matière de comment on aborde les changements climatiques et les impacts qu'on voit qui s'accélèrent, et puis pour aussi voir aussi dans quelle mesure il faut et on doit intégrer les questions d'inclusion. Donc vous le verrez, vous le découvrirez, Michael est une personne à mobilité réduite, mais ça ne l'empêche pas. Au contraire, je pense qu'il fait beaucoup plus que nous. Donc aussi de comprendre un petit peu mieux comment on doit aussi inscrire la question de l'inclusion dans la lutte contre les changements climatiques.
Merci. Nous allons nous adresser en anglais à Michael Haddad. You are UNDP Ambassador for the Arab world and it's your second day in Tunisia. How is it going yet?
Well, as I said, it is the warmth of the Tunisian people, you know, and especially what is being missed. So as our resident representative, my dear friend Céline said, we have to work on two major things here. One, it is inclusion, people with disabilities to be integrated more into the society, and climate change. You know, this cannot be missed because like climate change is something real. We have to be very ambitious when it comes to climate change. It is affecting all of us directly and indirectly, and like especially now, and me being here, is the connection of the climate change and inclusion and the impact of climate change on people with disabilities. So climate change is affecting all of us, but it's not affecting all of us equally. There's a category of people that is going to pay a very higher price, and they are directly affected by climate change. And when I say people with disabilities and the special needs population, this is something that we have to look to and towards and at very seriously, because like each and every one of us that are listening could be in this state of disability. each and every one of us will reach a stage where the aging process will be part of their lifestyle. We will have a disability at one point or another. So how to think together, how to move together, not only from a local perspective, but also from a regional and international perspective, especially when we, the Arab state region, have the highest numbers of people with disabilities in the world, is like strongly and more than others in the world. I don't want to claim it, but like we are highly impacted by the impact of climate change. And it's time for us to move together on this. So I'm here, thanks to our office's invitation and Céline, to work on this agenda decisively and to start putting concrete steps ahead.
And on a wider scale, what is your mission? I mean, what about the message you're bringing and the challenges you're inviting people to meet?
So one, I think we need awareness in Tunisia. After my second day, but we had like around 7 meetings, and with public, private, and social entities in Lebanon, and in Tunisia. We need awareness and empowerment when it comes to this society. So I'm a person who had a spinal cord injury at the age of 6. I'm completely paralyzed from the chest down, yet using an exoskeleton or an orthesis that holds my body in an upright position, I managed to do what many people frame as impossible, which is stand up and walk, carrying myself, which is 110 kilos, each step at a time, using my brain, calculating each step. So if you tell me walk like 1 kilometer, it's like lifting myself 2,000 times. So each meter, 2 steps. So the way I developed myself, my brain, attracted the attention of science. And like in scientific terms, and I'm going to make it simple, is that my story is about transforming your brain. And nothing is impossible, to make it like simple. So if I'm a person who was like challenged by the world, completely paralyzed from the chest down 75%, managed to stand up and walk using will and determination and faith, so each and every one of us could like break their own barriers and like move things forward. Tab, how about doing this together and collectively? So, you know, if we can dream, we have the will to find it in ourselves to move things forward, to find the ambition to transform ourselves. I think now it's the best time to do it, and I'm here to help in the region, especially in Tunisia, to make this happen.
So will and determination could be used as a collective tool.
Yes.
And you're pushing towards that.
Yes.
And after
like proving it scientifically. If we put our hands and our hearts and our minds together towards a certain subject, despite all the odds, we could always find solutions to move forward.
And you went all over the world to explain this position.
And I'm still.
And what's the feedback in general?
I'm here in Tunisia talking on your esteemed show, and like if I'm a person who was condemned to be in a wheelchair in his house in Lebanon, because Lebanon is also similar to Tunisia, it's not accessible, and now I'm all over the world here, and I'm planning to walk 100 kilometers in the Arctic, and I'm already walking in Dubai, I'm walking in and I already walked in Cairo. So Anna, I transformed myself through something that was framed impossible, which is walking, to advocate for inclusion and climate and the intersection between both of them. So if I'm here with you, my dear friend, so this is a challenge by itself, and this is like a success by itself. So like, you know, we could connect the two opposites of words and worlds so that we could like always move forward.
Yeah, and the merging of inclusion and climate change, is it widely understood when you approach several different audiences?
I think this is why our resident representative Céline is having me here, to make it like very visible, and like of course she will tell you all about it. Like we're having a lot of positive impact with ministries, with social entities in this country to make it happen. But thanks to her leadership and the office, we have to make it understood, and your help, because we need the media, because like when it comes to floods, people with vulnerabilities are the first people to die. When it comes to the heat waves, they are extremely marginalized and like at risk. I don't want to say death, but I want to say very high health risk. And everybody who's hearing us could imagine that.
First day, 7 meetings, you're staying a week.
If not more.
Will you keep the rhythm?
I hope so. With Céline, I can. With Céline, definitely I can. With Céline, definitely I can, because like we care about this beautiful country. We care about our work. We care about implementing our work. We care about stepping out of our comfort zone and like maximizing the impact, so that we could like influence others to make this change. Because if I convince you to be this change, you will turn something that is very small into a snowball, because it's up to you, it's up to the listener to make this change.
Yeah, and what's your feeling after the interactions you had on the first day of meetings?
Curious and ambitious, because I think the Tunisian people need to find their faith and their heart within to fight more and not to give up easily. Like the Lebanese, we have to join hands together, that despite all the odds, we must find it inside us to be this change, you know? That is important.
Yeah, thank you for your words. And what does it mean to be a UN Goodwill Ambassador? Could you just give us an insight on this responsibility?
The UN is a place where we could all sit together and speak equally. خلينا نحافظ عليها. Let's take care of it.
In fact, and let's take care of this Arab world. You said it's the region of the world in which there is the most important amount of people being disabled.
Yes.
And this is not well known among us. I mean, we don't know about it.
Yes.
And what are your next plans as an ambassador after this visit to Tunisia?
I think it's Céline to answer.
I mean, the next plan, Michael has lots of plans. Michael is, when I met him, and he's still working on it, he's going to work in the North Pole. Yeah, so he's going to walk 400 kilometers, okay? Just to demonstrate again that the climate, change is accelerating, and that, we also need to accelerate our action. So, he's trying to continue to demonstrate that there's nothing impossible. And I think for us, for me, the first, what comes next, we will see. I hope that we can build some partnerships and try to see how we can raise awareness and also, do concrete work when it comes to inclusion, when making sure that, the work that we do on climate action is also more inclusive of everybody, including people with disability. But I think for me, and I met Michael before he was a Goodwill Ambassador. The point is that it's really trying to motivate people. Sometimes we give up, even before we start. And I think for me, he embodies the fact that, people see his disability as something that, he can never do. I think he's proved us that he has no disability. We have more disabilities than he has. And I think it's just that we switch that mindset. And I think once you kind of switch that, I think it unlocks a lot of potential. People come together, they build partnership, they want to do things. Starting local doesn't mean you don't have a global impact. So it's really to rethink a little bit the impact that you can have.
Nous sommes en compagnie de Céline Moyroud, représentant résident du programme des Nations Unies pour le développement en Tunisie, et Michael Haddad, ambassadeur de bonne volonté des Nations Unies pour le monde arabe. Nous parlons de diverses questions à propos de la mission de Michael Haddad ici en Tunisie. 7 meetings pour le premier jour, une interaction sur la réflexion à propos de l'inclusion et du changement climatique, et puis par l'exemple, cet homme qui depuis l'âge de 6 ans a été handicapé nous montre que la détermination et la volonté peuvent être transférées à un niveau collectif. Nous sommes en compagnie de nos invités et je m'adresse de nouveau en langue anglaise à Michael Haddad. We've seen you climbing mountains, but now we're going to the North Pole. And that's really showing that things are possible.
You know, it is my life journey to prove it that with faith and determination and choice, nothing is impossible. From a person who could not walk, I managed to climb. Climb mountains. Actually, I climbed the iconic Raushi Rock. I snowshoed the Black Summit, which is the highest summit in the MENA region, to prove that if you have the right mindset, there is nothing that could stop you. How about transforming your right mindset into a collective work? So it is not only about me being this champion, it's about me being this person within a community that could drive things forward. And like what Céline said, for me, it's time for us, especially in the Arab region, to show the people and the world who we truly are. You know, our culture, our human values, and our care, you know, for the environment. And I think this is very important to start, you know, showing who we truly are and motivating ourselves and finding this energy inside us so that we could move forward together. Like we did it many years and we could do it always. It's time for us to do it now.
Yeah, so switching mindsets is a very important step and maybe an important milestone.
If you like transforming, it's transforming our mindset, you know, from the I to the we and to the ultimate we. And like the person is very important, the individual, but he or she is always important when it is part of the collective, you know, to move our nations forward. Because like in Lebanon and like in conflict areas, we paid the price. So it's time for us to learn from our mistakes and to move forward. And I'm a person who managed to transform my disability, my dream, which is like stand up and walk, into a tool for advocacy. To show people, yes, we could do things together, and we could do it strongly, proudly, and we could make this change.
Je crois que je démontre par mon propre vécu que mon rêve de me lever et marcher est un rêve que je réalise et qui devient un plaidoyer pour tous. C'est ce que vient de dire Michael Haddad. Et pour terminer cet entretien, je voudrais m'adresser d'abord à la représentante résidente du PNUD, Céline Moyroud, pour que nous puissions peut-être parler des différentes activités de Michael Haddad pour ces jours à venir. Et puis nous terminerons bien entendu avec lui.
Oui, bien sûr. Donc, on a organisé un programme assez varié. Ce matin, on était dans la ferme Gaïa, donc une association qui s'occupe d'enfants particulièrement en situation de handicap. On a vu aussi un certain nombre de ministères avec lesquels on travaille, le ministère de l'Environnement, le ministère des Affaires sociales. Demain, nous serons à Sousse pour... dans le cadre d'un programme sur la protection sociale et l'aide légale aussi pour parler des questions d'inclusion dans ce contexte-là. Et puis on aura aussi d'autres occasions de parler à des étudiants sur les questions climatiques et les questions d'inclusion, aussi des discussions plus avec des techniciens, des praticiens sur les questions climatiques, avant de finir aussi avec une discussion au sein, avec mon équipe, les collègues du PNUD, pour aussi voir comment est-ce que nous, dans notre travail, on intègre aussi ces questions d'inclusion, que ce soit l'inclusion de l'accès physique, aussi on travaille sur l'emploi, donc dans quelle mesure nous aussi on intègre ces questions dans notre travail. Donc voilà, c'est touché à beaucoup de choses, mais je pensais aussi avec Michael, comme c'était sa première fois en Tunisie, c'est important de toucher un petit peu à tout pour ensuite peut-être revenir avec un agenda plus ciblé et continuer ce plaidoyer qu'on veut faire avec et pour la Tunisie.
Merci beaucoup. Je voudrais m'adresser avec une dernière question à Michael Haddad. I would like to make a statement. I mean, from now on, you're my hero, and I will follow up as much as I can. And the last question about how could the Tunisian youth meet the challenges you're talking about?
It's first by starting to believe in themselves, you know, and in their country. We carry our identity and country everywhere in the world, and like we have to always look towards who we truly are. We cannot forget our origins and roots. So if we find that we see ourselves in a different place which we think that it is a better place, it is very important to truly look inside ourselves and say, like, why not change the origin of who we truly are and transform it to become this better place that we seek it to be. So instead of going everywhere else in the world, we could start by like changing who we are from inside and around us, and then we go out to the world and try to change it.
Merci beaucoup. Croire en soi, croire en son pays, ne pas oublier et perdre ses racines, voir en nous-mêmes afin de commencer à changer du dedans, puis tout autour, et à partir de là, regarder vers le monde. C'est le message que nous délivre aujourd'hui Michael Haddad, ambassadeur de bonne volonté des Nations Unies pour le monde arabe. Il est avec nous au Studio 1. Merci beaucoup d'être venu. Merci également à Céline Moyroud, représentant résidente du PNUD en Tunisie. Et un grand merci à Sarah Kalfat qui nous a aidé à organiser cet entretien. Merci encore.
Merci. Thank you.